5th of June, D-Day -1. Following the long delay in harbour, the cross-channel journey begins. The Normandy beaches are almost 100 miles from the south coast of England. Lieutenant Sidney Beck.
The great decision was taken. The Armada set sail despite most unfavourable weather reports. As they steamed by, Captain Perry and Captain Hall flashed signals by lamp. Good luck. As we passed the Needles and felt the first Atlantic swells, we knew there was no turning back. The Solent was chock-a-block with ships of all shapes and sizes, all straining at the leash, waiting for the greatest amphibious operation the world had ever seen.
Able seaman Bill Cutler is aboard HMS Largs.
What a task we have ahead of us. What losses are we to suffer? All are going in fully knowing the task set. We will not fail.
The fleet reaches its assembly point in mid-channel. The rough seas have convinced Hitler that an attack is unlikely. False intelligence has suggested that the invasion will take place anywhere but on the coast of Normandy and on any day except the 6th of June. Erwin Rommel has left for Germany to celebrate his wife's birthday. The order of the day is issued by Supreme Commander General Eisenhower.
You are about to embark upon the great crusade toward which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. The hope and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you. Your task will not be an easy one. But this is the year, 1944. The tide has turned. The free men of the world are marching together to victory. Good luck.
As more than 2,000 Allied ships head to the French coast under cover of darkness, British and American airborne troops prepare to take off for France. Private George Alex, 82nd Airborne Division.
I was getting nervous, butterflies in my stomach. We were told that the entire coast of France was mined. Fields were flooded to keep our gliders from landing. We didn't know what to expect, so we expected the worst.
Dawn, 6th of June, D-Day. Massive Allied air power is unleashed on northern France. Nearly 200 ships bombard 50 miles of the Normandy coastline. Bill Cutler.
Battleships, cruisers, destroyers, pounding away at the enemy beaches. Goodness knows how any living thing can stand up to such terrific battering.
Lieutenant Cyrus Eidlert, USS Bayfield.
It was like 1,000 4th of Julys rolled into one. The resounding blasts were terrifying. The ship shook and quivered, as if she knew what was happening.
US forces are to attack the beaches codenamed Utah and Omaha. Corporal Gil Murdoch on his way to Omaha.
The transporters cut engines. We clambered over the railings into the landing craft. Some guys were seasick. Some were arguing over little things that didn't count. Some guys, like myself, were just standing there, thinking, and shivering.
Sergeant Levers of the Canadian-Scottish Regiment approaches Juno Beach.
The machine gun bullets are starting to whine. The boys are keeping their heads down. Here we go. The ramp is down.
Omaha, Sergeant Harry Bear.
My radio man had his head blown off 3 yards from me. The beach was covered with bodies. Men with no legs, no arms. God, it was awful.
Lieutenant Alex Sudborough, number 45 Commando, Royal Marines, Sword Beach.
I couldn't help noticing the sweet, sickly smell and the number of battle-dressed bodies surrounded by a pinkish tinge, gently floating on the tide line.
Captain Jim Roberts, Omaha.
There were bodies everywhere. As I went by, I heard people screaming for morphine. There wasn't a thing I could do.
Lieutenant John Pelly of the Royal Navy is aboard HMS Eglinton, watching the return of the landing craft from the first assault wave.
I'll never forget the chaos. A mixture of blood and fuel, with legs and heads sticking out. They came alongside. We hauled the wounded out and placed them on the deck in their awful suffering, doing what little we could.
Canadian Charlie Martin.
We had all joined up in 1940, had trained together, had lived together, and had just been together every day for the last 4 years. Friends who became brothers, only to lose more than half of us.
BBC Home Service. D-Day has come. Under the command of General Eisenhower, Allied naval forces, supported by strong air forces, began landing Allied armies this morning on the northern coast of France.
By the end of D-Day, more than 180,000 Allied troops have secured a narrow beachhead in Normandy. In In some places, they have advanced up to 5 miles inland. Although the airborne assault has been fraught with difficulty, most units have been joined by land troops. More than 2,500 Allied men, mostly Americans, have lost their lives. Many more German defenders are dead. On August the 26th, Allied troops celebrate the liberation of Paris. General Charles de Gaulle, the exiled commander of Free French forces, returns to lead the triumphant parade. Lieutenant John Osland, 4th U.S. Infantry Division.
In the street was the largest crowd I've ever seen. Thousands of people, all there to see de Gaulle and to celebrate the liberation of their city. They had waited 4 years for this day.
Elisabeth de Mirabel of the Free French.
It was beyond all we could have imagined. The atmosphere of feverish joy was overwhelming. The excitement was intoxicating. Yet death and suffering still lay at the door.
The battle for Normandy has been a long and bitter fight. Almost 500,000 Allied and German troops are dead, injured, or missing in action. Though the war is not yet over, and it will be many months before the Allies reach Berlin, the events of D-Day and the battle for Normandy are the beginning of the end for Hitler's Third Reich. From the memoirs of Ernie Pyle, killed in action by the Japanese in April 1945. His account for August 1944, Paris.
One cannot help but be moved by the colossus of our invasion. It was a bold and mighty thing, one of the epics of all history. I hope that we can rejoice in victory, but humbly. The dead men would not want us to gloat.